So we're going to put 4 eggs. You want large eggs for this. So 4 eggs go into your stand mixer. If you want to do this by hand, you can. Get them well mixed. And then for this, we need some olive oil. So here we have a 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil. And that goes in, so a 1/2 cup of olive oil. And because I told you this is a sweet Taralli, we want to add, a 1/2 cup or so of honey. So a 1/2 cup of honey goes in. And if you put the olive oil in first and then use the same measure for the honey, well, then you won't have to struggle with the honey coming out. You see, it just comes out very, very easily. So there's our honey. And now we want to add some of this. You see this? This is anise flavoring. Again, it has that licorice taste. What about, I like anise, so I'm going to put about 2.5 teaspoons. My whole kitchen's going to smell beautiful. So that goes in. And you want to make sure when you buy this that you're not buying an imitation. You're buying the extract. That means it has to have 35% alcohol. How do I know that? I've been making these a long time. And here we have some anise seeds. Now this is an herb. Unlike the fennel, which is, of course, the vegetable, Florence fennel, this is the anise seed, and you see how much smaller it is. So we want about, a tablespoon of those. And again, you could crush those up, pulverize them in a little spice mill like I did before. You can just put them in like that. And now we need a little bit of salt. Here's a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 2 tablespoons of baking powder goes into our flour mix. We have about 4.5 cups of flour in here. And now we want to add this into our mixer, trying to be a little neater, you see. And you want to create, again, a nice soft dough. A nice soft dough. And the nice thing about this one is that you can work with this immediately. This you don't have to let rise. This is, as I say, more of a cakey kind of a Taralli. Okay, there it is. Let me move this out of the way. And you see what a nice dough this is. This is almost like the consistency of Play-Doh. And you just can play with that immediately. So you take it all off of your paddle, and you knead that, you see, just for a few minutes. And then for this, what you want to do is cut this up into, four equal pieces. Now, if my friend Donazia were here, she'd be weighing every one of these to make sure they were exactly equal. But I've done one better today. I've got my trusty 18-inch ruler, because each one of these pieces you want to roll out to about 18 inches, you see? And if you have a ruler, no mistakes. And then you want to cut 1-inch pieces all the way down. I won't do them all for you, but I'll do a few. And again, it's the same technique that we did earlier. You take them and you roll them out. You want them exactly 8 inches, exactly. And take the 2 ends, and then you just twist. And you see this is a much easier dough to work with than the store-bought that we used before. And again, you make that little pinch at the end. Do that one more time. And these we're going to bake at 350 degrees. So again, twist like so. And I made some earlier. I got some ready earlier for you, so I'm just going to add these to my tray. Here they are. Take a look at those. Put a couple on. The oven is on at 350 degrees. These are going to cook, or bake rather, for about 20 minutes. And I have some that I made earlier. So take a look at those. Don't those look beautiful? There they are. And now I'm going to move all of this out of the way because we have to do something really nice to those. We want to put a glaze on those. So we want to start with some confectioner's sugar, about 1.5 cups. And you want some half and half, or you could use milk. Don't put it all in, just see where you are at the point, because you want this not to be too thin. And just mix up that confectioner's sugar. You see? It's like that. Until it's nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. And then you want to have ready a rack over a cookie sheet or a pan with some paper so it will catch the drips. And then you take these wonderful hot and you dip them, and you see how beautiful they look. You just put them right on that rack to cool. Let the excess drop off. And you can never eat one of these. These are great. These are given at christenings and at birthdays in Italy, confirmations. It's a wonderful traditional treat. And it's called Taralli.